Hey, everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. And again, today, Mr. Kitao is in the news. He is, of course, if you don't know, the CEO of SBI Holdings, and they are a major shareholder of SBI. He's a really big advocate of the digital asset XRP, and he's really carving out his space in history to be the #1 mover and shaker here in Japan for the virtual currency industry. So what is it today? It's about something he said in an interview, and that is in addressing the STOs, the security token offerings. So exactly what is an STO? Well, it's similar to an ICO, but STOs represent an investment contract into an asset that holds a monetary value. So they are backed. They are backed by real world assets. So it could be backed by equity, which would be a form of real estate. It also could be backed by a digital asset. Even some of them, up to 10%, are backed by debt. The ownership of that is represented in a token. So the owner receives a token, and the assets that are backed become a financial instrument, and it does comply with the regulatory governance. You can see here that security tokens are really catching on. This is kind of a quick take from Bloomberg as to the growth. And there is also a very famous blogger in the crypto space. His name is Lou Kerner, and he says that over the next 7 to 10 years, the security token market will top 10 trillion. So just to give you an idea how big that is, the market for cryptocurrency now almost hit 1 trillion at its peak in 2017, but it didn't quite make it. So think of the peak of the last big bull run we had times 10, and that's how big the security token market will be. And if I take it also to share with you a story that was written by Forbes, and I'll put these articles down in the description below this video. The STOs have a much broader ramification for the future growth of cryptocurrencies. This is the exciting part. They are expected to raise the tide, giving a significant boost to the overall expansion of the market. It could be many multiples larger than what we saw with the ICOs. This is what is so exciting. And the new report came out today, just on the 4th, the new study published, is that STOs are rapidly growing. So we saw just 5 of them in 2017, 35 of them in 2018, and 2019 it is expected or projected to have some 83, and then the growth is just exponential. It's incredible. So if I take you back to the investors presentation that was put out April 26th of this year, you can see on page 151 that it talks about when the Virtual Currency Payments Act is amended and revised here in Japan. He has it in red, and you need to understand that when you see these presentations by SBI, anytime you see something in red, you want to pay attention to that. So what we see here is the new change or the amendments of the virtual currency law. It says an STO is possible. So STO ga kano to naru right here. So the STOs will become possible. And then after that came out, we saw a lot of articles like this. This is the very next day. This is this Cointelegraph? I'm not sure what this is. This is just one of many media outlets that had made a big story of it after that was released. The SBI Holdings to host security token offering in 2019. So what was he waiting for? Well, he was waiting for the law to be amended, and it has been. So for those people who want to see the actual legal writings of the changes that were made, I'm going to put this PDF, which was done by the Anderson Mori Tomosune law firm. They break it down into exactly what was changed. It's quite interesting, actually, because, you know, it was addressing the crypto asset name change. It was also addressing the crypto custody services, the tightening of the governance of exchanges here in Japan. It also established that transferable rights. So that is the key part that Mr. Kitao was waiting for in regards to STOs. It also made some changes with the regulations into derivatives and also the governing of unfair acts. That part is really interesting. You can get up to 1 year in prison or up to 10 million Japanese yen for doing things like spreading rumors, doing some intimidation, wrongful schemes, false quotations, fake sales, collusive sales. Basically, any market manipulation now in this country is going to be strictly enforced. And the law or amendments that were put into place at the end of May will be in full force 1 year from the passing. So it'll actually go into full effect for these changes in April 2020. But I think you're going to find that Mr. Kitao is not waiting around at all, because you can see from a lot of these stories that came out today, there is some forward movement. So I just will put a link to the actual story that talks about the regulatory changes that went through the House of Representatives, and it was amended, and that took place on May 31st. Okay, let's keep it going because it kind of gets interesting. The market reaction after it was changed, this is actually the head of and CEO of the fintech company Coin, and he says he thinks it's great. Frankly, with this revised content, customer protection is further pursued. So I think that Japan will be able to become the world leader in virtual currency related regulations, and the entry of institutional investors will also increase as new initiatives such as STOs are becoming possible. The boundaries between virtual currency and existing finance will be overlapping more and more. So you can see how instrumental it is to get this change done. Now, here is one of the first of the 3 articles that I found. I found many, but these were maybe the best. So there is going to be a new group created, and the new group is going to have these cryptographic assets. It'll be an STO which uses virtual currencies. And the article is quoting Mr. Kitao as saying that he is preparing to establish a new group of security token offerings. Okay, that's great. That confirms what was in the presentation that he put together for the investors a couple of months ago. But then he goes on to say that SBI revealed to Cointelegraph Japan that the launch time is now being determined, and a large securities company is expected to join the new organization. Wow. I mean, we're talking about maybe, I don't want to speculate, but like a Nomura Securities. I say Nomura because that's where Mr. Kitao used to work in his early days of his career. So maybe he has still some really great connections, but I don't know. It could be. There's so many really big securities companies here, so I just don't know. But the fact that it's a large securities company and they're expected to join, this is great. Why? Because they can help spread the STOs. It is said from SBI spokesperson that they are bringing this entity in to help actually the sales. Wow, this is really big. And then if I take you to just one more article here, you can see that SBI is promptly mulling over the size of the large-scale fund to get this STO project launched. And the STO in Japan is considered highly reliable because it has been reviewed by the regulatory agency, and it is necessary, according to Mr. Kitao, to set up a proper industry group in order to fix the STO industry rules. And so the company that they're bringing in is going to help them establish those industry rules. He is totally leading in this space. He is shaping it. He is making it. He is not waiting for anybody else to do it. He's doing it. And this will be with the assistance of that large securities company. I'm just dying to know who it is. All right, if I keep it going here, you'll see also, this is from July 5th. It talks about this kind of STO, the efforts and future prospects within Japan. So STOs do not take or need a long time to prepare. And the possibility to sell STOs is allowing for smaller investments. It's easier to enter, meaning when it's fractionalized, you don't have to buy the whole hotel. You can buy a piece of that hotel. You don't have to buy the whole Bitcoin. You can buy a piece of that Bitcoin. So this is really going to be a means to get a lot of people involved. STOs are expected to improve also market liquidity. The liquidity. This is huge. When you start to research about STOs, you're going to see over and over and over again the reference to how it's going to increase liquidity. And Mr. Kitao and a major securities company will establish the rules for the legal maintenance. Yeah, I'm very excited, as you can tell. And then also, I want to just tell you one more thing. There's an article that was put out just in May, talks about how security tokens can prevent an impending financial crisis. Why? Liquidity. The liquidity benefits of these instruments derived from the DLT, distributed ledger technology, suggest that this is a new approach to aid in preventing a repeat of 2008. This fractional ownership could stave off future financial disasters, as this article states. The programmable smart contracts will have greater transparency, oversight, access, and liquidity to the market. This liquidity word just doesn't stop when you start researching the STOs. So the NASDAQ predicts that the 2019 will be the major start of the year of STOs. I'm just thinking this is just great, everybody. I think that's it. Yeah, I have just this one story for you, and I want to do a little fluff. And the fluff is all about, again, a manner, because it is really mannerful to use the politeness marker on people's names, whether it's first name or last name, with san, chan, or kun. And I just want to go into a little bit of the differences there. This is the web page for Otani-san. Otani-san is a young baseball player who was recruited to the Major League Baseball in the United States, and he plays on the Angels, of course. And I'm so happy that I see the Americans are using this honorific, polite marker on his name by adding the word san. So anytime you have somebody's name, so let's just say you're going to address a guy named Tom. You don't just call him Tom. You would always call him Tom-san. It's just the most polite way. So when you do come to Japan and somebody introduces themselves to you, they're not going to say, my name is Eddie-san. They don't say that. I would say my name is Eddie, but then the person who is talking to me would always then add san, like Eddie-san, Eddie-san. And then if you really get close to the person, and I don't want to confuse you, but if you have really good friends, you might call them Eddie-chan. Might. Not always. And if it's a boy, it would be, of course, Tom-san. But if you really were a little boy, you might use the word kun, Tom-kun. That would be somebody who's really, really on the childlike side. And even with cats and dogs, even the cats and dogs are called kun and chan in this country. You don't just say, like I have Momo here on my lap right now. I wouldn't just say Momo. I would call her Momo-san or Momo-chan, one of the other. It's the politeness. So we've got Otani-san. And then we have in Japan, this is Hello Kitty in the West, but in Japan, it's Kitty-chan. And Kitty-chan actually has a brand new train. It is in the Kansai region, which is near Osaka, and it's a train that takes people specifically to the airport. So it's kind of like an airport express train. And it is decorated in 3 motifs of Kitty-chan. And you can see even on the inside, it has a lot of Kitty-chan motif. Really, really cute, huh? I think it's really cute. Yeah, this is the butterfly motif. And then if you have been watching this channel for, I don't know, a year or so, you might have seen that I once did the story about the Shinkansen, which is the bullet train. This is a Kitty-chan bullet train. This one is wow. So here's the actual train itself. It's done with a ribbon design on the outside, and the interior looks like a daycare center, doesn't it? The interior is Kitty-chan, 100% personified, overboard. I like the purple chairs though. Anyway, yeah, how fun. It's really fun. So, okay, and I'm going to take you one more to Kun, and this is Domokun. Domokun is actually the mascot for NHK, Japan National Public Broadcasting Organization, and he has his own TV show. He's a mascot character that comes in all sorts of goods that are sold with his image on them. And the funniest thing about Domokun is when Domokun gets nervous, he farts. Yeah. So in his TV show, and I can't play it for you, I'm sorry, because I don't want to have any trouble with showing content that I shouldn't, but I can put a link to this down in the description below. But you can see this is yeah, this is what you think it is. It's so funny, you know, kids at this age that are watching Domokun on his TV channel, of course, at that age, the fart is just so funny, right? So Domokun has this propensity to fart when he gets nervous. Anyway, yeah, Japan and their humor. It's pretty funny, actually. All right, everybody, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.